Welcome to the Small Business Tax Savings Podcast, powered by Jetro. Each week, we bring extremely valuable accounting and tax tips specific to small business owners. You will be on your way to growing your business and putting more money in your pockets. Here's your host.
Hello and welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Mike Jesowshek, and today's topic is, what apps do I need as a new business owner? Now, before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by the Tax Minimization Program, which is a training program to ensure that you pay the least amount in taxes as legally possible while also having a solid bookkeeping foundation. As part of this program, you also have access to our team for general tax and accounting questions. It's like having an accountant in your back pocket on this journey of being a business owner. If you want to learn more, go to taxsavingspodcast.com/tax. Again, I'm your host, Mike Jesowshek, and today's topic is, what apps do I need as a new business owner? And this is actually the 9th episode in our Starting a Business series, which stemmed from a business owner that we were talking with that was just starting a business, and they've never been a business owner ever before. And so they were completely lost, not knowing where to go, which is what stemmed us to start this series on, what do you need to know as a new business owner? What are some of those things that you wish you would have known when you started your business? And that's what we're talking about today. And this is, again, the 9th episode in our Starting a Business series. So if you haven't listened to the prior 8, go back, check them out, as there's going to be some great information in there. But today's topic is, what apps do I need as a business owner? And so when we talk about apps, we're not talking about mozzarella sticks and nachos, but we're talking about technology or applications that you can use to help you in your business. Now, for those of you that maybe don't know me, haven't been listening for a while, I could talk about technology for hours. I absolutely love and very passionate about utilizing technology to make our lives easier, to help our businesses perform better, and just to make the process go that much smoother. But I'm going to save you. I'm not going to be talking for hours about apps. We're going to be talking specifically about accounting-related applications today. And actually, we're going to be talking about some of the most important ones. So when people talk about this idea of apps or applications within their business, some people call it their technology stack. Or it's basically what software that you use to operate your business. So the first kind of question or topic I want to talk about are, what are the two most, and I'm going to break this down to 2, what are the 2 most vital accounting apps for a new business owner? And, I just want to say, for those of you that are just getting started in your business, which is what this series is made for, we don't need to get too complex here. It actually comes down to 2 main pieces of software: bookkeeping software and payroll software. And in fact, if you're not doing an S corporation or you do not plan to have employees initially, you actually just need the bookkeeping software. You can hold off on the payroll software until you get to that point in your business where you're either going to hire yourself as an employee in an S corporation, or you're going to be bringing on staff to help in your business. So let's start with that first one. What do I use bookkeeping software for? Now, if you remember, if you've been listening to the series, if you remember, we've talked about in the past how bookkeeping is the backbone to your business. And this is why we're ensuring we have it clean and up to date and accurate is going to be so important, so that we can have good bookkeeping, which means to good financials, which leads to helping us make decisions within our business. When it comes to bookkeeping software, we can go to something as simple as an Excel spreadsheet for recording all the income and expenses that come in. And we actually have a sample Excel spreadsheet in our free bookkeeping training program. I'll put a link in the show notes. But we can track these things on Excel. And to be honest with you, if you have 1 or 2 transactions, let's say you have one vendor, you have one customer that pays you once per month, and you have one expense that comes out, and that's to pay for your Google for your Gmail account for your business. So you have one in, one out, and that's all you have. The Excel document might be okay. However, with that being said, I always recommend new business owners getting set up with an actual accounting or bookkeeping software. It is typically pretty inexpensive and can really help make this process so much easier and more useful. Now, if you're just starting a business, you are hopefully looking to grow, so spending a little time and money up front to get this thing set up correctly is going to be important, especially when bookkeeping is the backbone to your business. If you're that person that has one transaction coming in, one transaction going out, and that's the only business-related activity that you have, and that's the only business activity you ever want to have, you don't plan to grow, you don't plan to expand from there, Excel might be fine, totally fine. But here's where I always say is, when you're starting a business, if you plan to grow, which most people starting businesses are probably hoping to grow, starting it out correctly from the beginning is going to help make that growth so much easier, and not you having to constantly backpedal and try to correct some of the things that you could have done right from the beginning. So that's why I say Excel document is you can do bookkeeping in Excel. It's that simple, and we have a free kind of demo Excel document to use in our free bookkeeping training program. Again, I'll put a link to the show notes to that. However, I always recommend business owners getting set up with an actual accounting software. So what can bookkeeping software help with? Bank feeds, invoices, bills, financials, and so much more. So let's talk about bank feeds. Basically, what bank feeds are is you connect the software directly to your bank and credit cards, and you have all of those business transactions that are going on within those bank and credit cards automatically download directly into the bookkeeping software. Then all you need to do is code or record those transactions into their respective categories. So you have a client have money come in, that's money deposited into your bank account, that will flow to your bookkeeping software without you having to do anything. You go and spend money, you go out with a client, you go buy some supplies, you do 3 different transactions at different stores, locations. Those are going through your business bank account or potentially your business credit card. And if you connect your bank feed with the accounting software, those transactions are going directly into the software, which is where you can then code them. So bank feeds makes putting all of your data and transactions very easy within the software. You can create, record, and send invoices within bookkeeping software. So do you need to get paid by someone? Most of those accounting software out there will allow you to create, send, and track your invoices directly within it. Same thing with bills. You can create, record, and send bills in there. So if you want to keep track of who you all owe, this is a great way to upload all of your bills into the software so that you know who you still need to pay, but you also have record of who you already paid. And then bookkeeping software also spits out financials. So when you do all of that coding of your transactions, you're going to be able to download financial statements directly from the software. And these are going to help you in understanding kind of where your business has been and where you plan to go. They also help with tax reporting and so much more. So you will need your financials. You will need business financials at a bare minimum during tax time. You're going to need to report income and expenses during tax time. So without bookkeeping software, you're going to be stressing out trying to gather all of your income and expense activity, and very, very possibly missing some things that could have been caught. And so that is why we recommend accounting software. Again, if you plan to be very basic, very simple for a long time, you might be able to look at Excel. But for those of you that are looking to grow your business and really turn this into something, and you have a good amount of transactions, always use an accounting software. Now, many people will ask, kind of who do we recommend for that? We recommend all of our clients. It's in a software that we use internally called Xero. It's spelled Xero. Again, that's who we recommend. That's the software that we recommend to our clients. It's also what we use internally. Next question is, what do I use payroll software for? And we talked about this one pretty heavily in a previous episode in the series where we talked about hiring employees. So if you have employees, whether that's yourself in an S corporation or other outside employees, payroll software, I say, is going to be an absolute requirement. Payroll software is going to help with everything from onboarding employees and gathering necessary documents to calculating, withholding employer and employee taxes, paying employees, filing federal and state tax reports and forms, paying federal and state taxes, so actually making the payments of those to the agencies for those taxes, sending out kind of year-end docs, and so much more. So I say if you're going to be running payroll, and remember we talked about a couple episodes ago about how do you pay yourself as an owner, but if you're paying yourself or other people via payroll, W-2 employees, a payroll software is going to be an absolute requirement. Payroll used to be a big pain in the butt because there was so much different calculations and changing and everything else. Payroll software has automated so much of this. So definitely use payroll software if you have employees. Now, we recommend to our clients a software called Gusto. That's what we use internally, and also if we're doing the accounting for our clients, that's the software we use. So those are the two main softwares, bookkeeping and payroll. I say if you're going to do two things on the accounting side, that's what you need to do. Now, what other kind of accounting apps should you as a business owner be considering? So once we have that bookkeeping, that payroll software past us, other things you might be looking at are bill pay. So if you're going to be paying a lot of vendors, what's a system that you can utilize to make that bill pay very easy? Or if you have multiple people that have to approve a bill, how can we use a software to help along that process? Bill.com is an example of a software here. There's accounts receivable software out there. Let's say you have a lot of people that you're invoicing and you want to have automated follow-up and really kind of detailed reporting around that accounts receivable. There's software specifically for that. Receipt management. This is a big one. I feel very passionate about this. We should always be saving our receipts, big or small. We should always be saving them because it's so easy. Now we can use a software for that. There's a software called HubDoc. It actually integrates with Xero. But you download an app on your phone. You take a picture of your receipt and you throw your receipt away because that receipt, you have a digital copy of it. You're all good. And so that just makes it so much easier. Every time I spend money using a business credit card, bank account, whatever it is, I instantly get that receipt, take a picture, crumple that receipt up. Of course, first I write on the receipt what was the business purpose and everything else. But then I take that receipt, crumple it up, throw it away because I have a picture of it and I did it immediately right away. So that's receipt management. Now you can also do that in a Google Drive or Dropbox folder or something like that where you just create these Google Drive folders and then you manually upload a receipt. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter how you do it. There's plenty of software out there that helps with this. But there's also, with every piece of software, there's kind of a manual way that you can do it as well if you don't want to spend that money now or if it's not that complex or you need a software quite yet. Another software out there is mileage tracking. So if you're going to be using your vehicle a lot for business and personal use or business use, you can use a mileage tracking app. There's an expense reimbursement apps out there. So if you have employees and things like that, you're going to be doing a lot of expense reimbursement for. There's things that make that a lot easier. Time tracking. So if your employees are going to be doing time tracking, that oftentimes will integrate directly with your payroll software. If you have inventory, if you're doing heavy shipping, or if you have a retail store, you're going to have software around that, a point of sale system. So, we could really go on for days around the different types of technology that you can have in your business. But what we wanted to do in this episode is kind of touch on the two most important, bookkeeping and payroll, especially for a brand new business owner. That's likely kind of extent right there. And then as you're growing, you're getting into deeper ones where you're looking at bill pay and receipt management and time tracking and a point of sale system and everything from that on that front. Now, I can't help but say this one last thing is after we've talked about kind of what's on the accounting apps, what type of apps you use on the finance side, there's so much more applications that can actually help in actually running your business too. And so I'm not going to go through these that deep, but I just want you to kind of plant that seed in your mind that, if you're struggling to keep up with projects or you're struggling to track kind of where you're at, where different projects are at, or what work needs to be done, there are so many systems out there that can help out with this. And that's where I just want to kind of run through some of those. That could be things like a project management system, client communication, internal team communication application. We might have a document management system. That could be Google Drive. That could be something else. Calendar booking. You want to have clients book time on your calendar? There's apps out there that you just click a link and they see all the availability and unavailability. So you don't have to email back and forth. There's software out that helps with screen sharing and document signing if you're getting people to sign documents. Password management. This is a big one. So many people have so many passwords everywhere. There's apps out there that help save those passwords for you, make that easier for you. A phone system, marketing, website, and again, so much more. There's so many different apps out there that can help run your business. So just make sure that if you're not using any apps, just think about some of the biggest issues in your business and think about maybe there's an app that can help with that. With that same standpoint, do not get too stuck into apps because people can have problems with it, always trying that new shiny object, and they're always kind of trying different apps to try to fix this, and they kind of get away and they get obsessed and away from their business. So I just want to put that caveat. Apps can be extremely helpful, extremely useful in your business, but also once you kind of have a solution, just buckle down and really get to know that solution. So again, what's important for new business owners, the two most vital accounting apps for a new business owner is going to be bookkeeping software and payroll software. Other apps you might consider, at least on the accounting side, are bill pay, accounts receivable, receipt management, mileage tracking, expense reimbursement, time tracking, an inventory system, shipping system, point of sale, things like that. So that's all we have today. I want to thank you for listening to another episode. And again, I highly recommend you check out our tax minimization program, as not only do we have in-depth training, templates, group coaching, but again, you also have unlimited access to our team for general tax and accounting questions. And so that's what we say, how sweet would it be to just have that accounting professional by your side for those questions that pop up in this journey of being a business owner. So feel free to check that out. It's taxsavingspodcast.com. I want to thank you for listening to another episode, and I will see you guys next week.
This has been another episode of the Small Business Tax Savings Podcast from the team at Jetro. If you enjoy our weekly episodes, please leave a review on whatever platform you listen to us on and share with other business owners. If you have any questions or future topics you want to hear, email them to tax@jetrotax.com. Thanks for listening and have a great day.